Hi, and welcome to episode 25 of One Game Dad. I'm Gregory Placi, the proverbial One Game Dad. And this episode is a couple days late because, if you can't tell, I'm ill. But then again, so is my daughter, which means she's at home and I'm not working. At the moment, she is on her way to the doctor's with my wife and mother-in-law as a follow-up because she's only a little bit better, but she hasn't significantly improved, which is not the best given that it's an eye infection, but as a result of this eye infection, I have a sore throat and it feels like my tonsils are swollen. But hey, well, what's a father to do? My priority is making sure my daughter's okay, and work, my business all gets sacrificed for that, which is not a lot of fun. And yeah. It's just, it's another day in it, like trying to start off with having everything go so, well, just be, continually put on hold is not a lot of fun. And now the sound is cut off, so I don't even know if this is recording. Which is a lovely development. I'm sorry for the coughing, but yeah. So I am nowhere further in my in getting anything done really. I've written another episode for the writing game, which is my new podcast slash YouTube show, but I have yet to record it. In part because well, the kid's at home, and if the kid's at home, then I can't do much of anything. Uh, I My mother-in-law has come over and watched her some, which has been of help. But yeah, but it's again not. It's none of this is well. These developments, not that they're exactly costly because it's not like I'm making any money and it's only the beginning, but it's just it's delays that don't aid in the aid in just getting something done. Just getting a business going, getting back to writing regularly. And I I don't like that, but I mean, it's not just, my wife's the breadwinner. I'm supposed to be receiving some support in terms of the startup grants, but that means the business has to be up and running. Yeah, it's just I just I just want to work, and I keep saying this because I do honestly love writing. I love making things, and I just yeah, just having the opportunity to sit down and do that and not be distracted or exhausted or sore or ill or any of these things. I have no trouble sitting down and just writing. I put a keyboard or a piece of paper and a pen in front of me, and the words will flow. Not that they're necessarily good, but that's the point of editing. Editing is iteration, and writing is practice, and you only get better through each. And so, time and time again, I just find myself wanting to yeah, just wanting to write, just having that opportunity. And yeah, having a kid, particularly at this age, makes that really difficult. And my wife's ill, so she's staying home but working from home today, so it's not like she can take care of the kid. And she's got a business trip that she has to prepare for. So, again, falls to me. I'm getting this out in the few moments I can with the sun in my eyes because it's negative 20 outside. The sun is shining. And this is something quick that I can turn around. But you know what? What's. Sorry. What? What's I, well, because this keeps happening, and I know it's still early on, I just find myself continually wondering what how seriously my wife takes my work and like my need to do this and the possibilities of. I mean, I think she does. I mean, she's giving me this opportunity, but at the same time, it's just one thing after another keeps getting in the way. I mean, that's not her fault. We have a daughter who now goes to daycare. And so, yeah, inevitably things are going to happen that, well, prevent prevent well, me from getting to do everything I need to. But what can one say? It's not, my wife's fault this happens. It's just the nature of, well, what, of our life now. And I, it's just something I'm gonna have to go. But okay, on a lighter note, I'm gonna talk about some Assassin's Creed since that's what I'm currently playing, and how it just seems to. It's trying to tell a story, but it's one that is a little confusing to say the least. And I say that because it's doing all this stuff with the it's open world and you have options, but I just find myself like everything's about killing. Like you don't truly have other options. And that's yeah, it's just I don't know, like they have all these quests where you're just supposed to be solving these problems, but the only way of ever solving them is by killing people. I mean, occasionally you could steal things and not kill people, but by and large, it's just killing. So is there really choice? I this is something I've been thinking about. If you have all these mechanics but they still lead to the same result, is it choice? And I don't think that counts as choice. I think that counts as flavor. I just, yeah. I don't think it's, yeah, I don't think it's the same thing, though. I think, I you can't call it choice if all that happens is people, you know, do one thing again and again. It's variation, but it is not in any way something that counts as choice. And that's, I don't know, for me, it makes for a really boring game. For others, I mean, maybe it's interesting, and it's certainly pretty, but it's But again, it's not something that's going to make massive difference in well, what happens in the game. It's just one of those things that I find exceptionally, I don't know. I said boring, and that is accurate, but at the same time, it's still it's still something that it leaves me wanting. Like we put all this energy into the fidelity of a game like this, and it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It is, you know, it's it's astounding how realistic it looks. But it's like, what good is all that fidelity if you can't do much? Um, yeah, so it just leaves me wanting in terms of, well, what the game? I mean, not to say the combat isn't fun and exploring the world isn't great, but it is just it's flat. Okay, and of course I was just playing The Witcher 3, which provides additional options. I mean, okay, you have all the dialogue, and they don't have a dialogue system here. It goes to a cutscene. Yes, it's in-engine cutscene, so there's something to be said for that. But you have no choice on how these matters play out, and you can never just talk to someone or try and convince them otherwise to do something. Your only option is ever violence. And that's boring. Yeah, and I mean, even now, like, okay, I have rescued. Oh, crap. I'm trying to rescue a priest. Because I have found the things that prove he didn't steal, but all I do is fight. Like, why? Why can't I threaten? Of course, same thing. Why must it simply result in me going into combat? I mean, it's. Wow. Got destroyed in combat that time. Yeah, it's just. The lack of options is astounding for everything else they put into this game. The voice acting, the arts, the time, the money, the energy. I just. Yeah, so it's just. I don't know. Ultimately disappointing to me. And yet I'm still playing it because it's not like it's not fun. It's just. It lacks depth, and I'm repeating myself. So it's something to think about for the future, for the things I make. All right, well, that's it for today. Sorry the episode's late. Sorry I don't sound that great, but hey, at least I spoke a little more and was a little more upbeat this episode. Thanks for watching and listening. I've been Gregory Plachi, One Game Dad. You can find everything I do at onegamedad.com, on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, etc. at One Game Dad. And be sure to check out my new podcast, The Writing Game, or you can find it on YouTube and iTunes. Just search for The Writing Game. This podcast and everything else I do is hosted by the Third Culture Kids Network, which, well, that's me basically. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.